Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. It is morning here in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, and it is a rainy fall day, which is the perfect day to do some spooky inspired Halloween nail art. We are going to be doing a complimentary class today for some Halloween nail art, salon kind of friendly Halloween nail art. So not overly intricate, but still packs a good punch for your clients and your customers. I'm just going to go over some stuff that I'm using. Well, actually, I listed all my, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just excited. I'm excited. Christical Cranksters is here with me.
Totally. Hey, guys.
She's behind there. She's going to be helping out today, answer any questions if I don't see them. She's here for, you know how like kids have like a support blankie?
Yeah.
Christical is my support blankie.
And you're mine too.
So she's hanging out with me today while we do this. We're going to do 4 demos of some salon-friendly Halloween nail art, and all with Ugly Duckling products, of course. I'll announce each product that I'm using as I go, and please feel free, if you guys have any questions while we're working and while I'm demoing, go ahead and ask. This is a safe place. We want you to feel comfortable. You're a fellow duckling, so don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. Good morning, Frida. Good morning, Veronica.
Hello, everybody.
Okay. Also, actually, I should mention before I flip over, as we always do with our complimentary classes, we are going to have a discount code as well, and that is TASHA15, so TASHA 15, and that will save you 15% on uglyducklingnails.com. Hi, Natasha. Okay, I'm going to flip my camera over and get situated here, and then we'll get started. So hold on one second. This is always fumbly.
This is always the best
This is
part.
always the fumbles. Okay, one second. Let's get situated. Let's zoom in. Oh, Amber, I'm glad. You know what? I know it's a lot sometimes, the energy, but let's just get excited.
Oh, how cool is this? I love it.
Okay, hold on. I'm having some apparatus difficulties. Hold on. Oh no. Okay, one second. Okay. And you guys, I'm going to try and work up in this area so I stay out of the comments. But if I tend to move down or I'm out of focus or anything, just give me a little hoot and holler.
A little hooties.
A little hooty hoos. Okay, so we are going to be, does it look clear?
It looks very clear, Crystal.
Okay, great. So we are going to be doing these 4 little demos, and we are going to be doing, so this one is a layered spiderweb design with a chrome little spider at the top. I thought of Christical Kronk herself while doing this because she is petrified of spiders. Then we're going to hop on over and we're going to do a melted candy corn design, and we're going to incorporate some clear as mud crystals at the top and some caviar beads. And then we're going to do this pinstripe nail with the word boo in chrome, and the pinstripe nail is matte, and then we've got boo in no wipe. So I always love a mix of matte and shiny together. And last but not least, we are going to do this cute little ghosty, and it is textured kind of 3D. I guess you could kind of classify this as a French, maybe like an inverted French.
Yes, or like a I have the word, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'll bring it up when I think about it, but I just wanted to say how much I love how you outlined this ghost the way you did. It's very cute.
Thank you. We always have to have a little bit of bling, and honestly, our jet crystals are so awesome. And if you guys don't know, jet our clear as mud crystals are on special. They 50%. Are 50% off. So stock up. I mean, Christmas is coming, Halloween. We're in the Burr months, and Burr months are always good for crystals. So time to stock up. And so these are the 4 that we're going to cover today. Again, if you guys have any questions while I'm working, Christical is here to help as well. So feel free to ask away. So first things first, I am going to, we're going to hop into it. Let's go ahead and grab one of our pointed almond tippies, and then I am also going to use gel polish number 193, which is our milky white. I'll zoom in a tiny bit here. Is that better? We'll see. So 193 is milky white, so it definitely is semi-sheer. Oh.
Perfect.
Yeah? Okay. Crisco's my director. So 1 coat of 193, and I'm just putting on a normal layer like we always recommend, not too thick, not too thin. Ugly Duckling gel polishes, if you've never used them, they are very, very pigment rich, so a little bit goes a long way. And for this look, we kind of want that milky, foggy look. So the first base layer is just going to be a thin layer just to get that milky color on there. I'm going to go into my lamp and I'm going to pop that in for a cure. Ugly Duckling gel products are 60-second cure. While that is curing, let's go ahead, you guys, and we are going to grab some black art gel. I'm just finding my black here, and today I'm actually going to use our platter as my palette. So we have a palette and platter. The platter is Christicle's favorite.
That's correcto.
Because
it holds all the beautiful bling.
And yeah, I'm using it as a palette today, just because I accidentally grabbed it instead of my crystal palette.
I feel like there's a lot of peas.
Do you know what? That was a lot of peas. And I didn't drink coffee this morning on purpose because I knew I was going to be doing some line work.
You should have.
Well, honestly, I needed it. But the beautiful thing is, you guys, is Halloween nail art, it doesn't have to be perfect, which I feel like I say that every time I do an art class. But I intentionally made the pinstripes a little bit wobbly. The spiderwebs, the lines are not like overly consistent in weight. Some parts are a little bit thicker, some parts are a little bit thinner. It just makes it look really kind of like whimsical and kind of spooky.
It does actually. It really does make a difference with how you do that. So
this is perfect. So you know what? Drink your coffee. Have some caffeine. Have a 5-hour energy. It's totally fine. So I've got some black art gel on my palette here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab let me just wipe I'm trying to clean as I go here. I'm just going to wipe the excess off my duck paddle. So I use my duck paddle to scoop out some of that black art gel. Then I am going to reach for my striper brush, our beautiful striper. I'm using striper, not the striper 2. Hi! Oh, there's so many little ducklings here today. This is awesome. Let me just scroll, see if I missed anything. We're good? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's Tasha 15, correct?
Yes, Tasha 15. So actually, I'm going to show you guys how to properly load your brush because I didn't clean my brush properly before I put it away. So it's got a little bit of gel built up in there. So hold on 1 second. Sorry, you guys. By now, our 1 coat of number 193 has been cured. So let's just pop that over to the side. Okay, so I've got my striper brush here. Now when we're doing line work, a lot of people just want to go in, if you haven't done line work before, you just want to go in and pick up your product like this and then just hop onto the nail and just go crazy. But honestly, you can't really do nice lines when you've got a blob of gel at the end of your brush like that. And you see as I'm talking how it's kind of slowly pulling back from the very tip of the brush. You can see that little tip poking through. There's no way you would be able to control that well enough or properly to be able to do some line work. So what we're going to do to load our brush is we're going to come to our palette or our platter, and I am going to I'll do it over here first. I'm kind of just put a little bit of pressure on my brush and I wiggle it side to side and then I drag through. And what that's going to do, it's going to help get the product up inside the bristles and it's going to evenly coat that brush. And that's what helps minimize the risk of forming that kind of bead or blob of product at the end of your brush. Now the beautiful thing about this design, this spiderweb design, is that I actually don't mind if the lines are broken. So you'll see as we get started here, I don't load my brush all that often. We're really kind of just working with what's loaded on our brush. And then actually the little bit of inhibition layer that forms on over-cured gel polish will help us kind of glide that product around. So the combination of the two will help us create this kind of fine line spider web. I'm just rolling, coating that brush, making sure we're good to go.
I just wanted to make a comment about how amazing your nails look, Natasha.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
We've had some comments in the comments section.
Okay. Should we show them?
Yes, let's see
Don't mind
the
my.
ones.
I have a crooked witch finger.
You're fine.
It's my middle one. So what I did, because I did my own. So this hand is basically my color palette, and then this hand is florals painted with those colors. So
they're beautiful.
I just didn't feel like challenging myself on my right hand with my left hand, which sometimes I do, but this time I was not feeling it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got 193 cured on our Tipeez tip here, and we are going to go ahead now. I've cured it for 60 seconds, so when Ugly Duckling gel polish cures, there's always a bit of an inhibition layer, which is going to work in our favor right now. So I've got my brush loaded, and I'll come over here. I'll show you guys. There's like barely anything on that brush. There's a little bit on the end. I'm just going to knock off a little bit. So the key to creating thinner lines is actually to use your brush a little bit more instead of holding it parallel with the nail, you're going to want to hold it a little bit more vertical, if that makes sense. Okay, so what I did on this one is I started in the background. I started with a spider web up in this back corner, and then the other one we're doing in the bottom right corner. So top left is where I started, bottom right is where we'll end. So let's start with our first spider web up in that top corner. So we're going to lay down one line, and again, beautiful thing about Halloween nail art is we're not worrying if it's overly straight, or actually I like a little bit of wiggle to it. So do you notice that I'm actually using mostly just the very tip of the brush, and I'm just only using what's on the brush for product. I haven't picked up anything else. We're going to go ahead, we're going to do another line coming out from that first one. Just dragging that, and this just goes to show how nice and pigmented our art gels are too. A little bit really does go a long way. I'll maybe just, if I need to pick up more, I'm just going to roll it through just to grab a tiny bit of that pigment. I don't need a ton of product on here. And then we're going to we're just going to draw these, basically these are the arms reaching out of the spider web. And getting a little wiggle on in there. Okay. Now we're going to come in and we're going to start doing the little swoops that join the spider web together, that make the spider web. Are we talking about crooked fingers in the comments?
Yeah, yes.
Excellent.
We had a comment about now I feel normal. My middle finger is crooked too. I thought it was from flipping it too many times while driving.
Overuse could cause some issues.
And then Priscilla says, but they deserve it.
Okay, so if I were working on a client, remember, they got to put in some work too. So I would flip them around. Instead of having their nail facing us like I normally would, I would flip them this way just while I'm working a little bit more intricately in this small area. So what we're going to do is essentially we're just drawing little swoops. Then we're joining these lines together. Now, at first, I kind of focused on making them a little bit more even, or trying to at least. And pardon me, I am working a little bit further away from the nail. Usually my eye is right on top of it, so I'm trying to focus. Okay, so we've got that first one done. We're going to go ahead and keep continuing up. As we continue up, we're going to spread them further apart, and we're also going to add, you can see here, there's some areas where we've done a little, we've done kind of a line in the middle diagonally to add just a little bit of interest. So it's not this completely the same pattern all the way up. This just looks like a ratty old spider web that's been there for quite a long time. So let's go ahead, if you're working along with me, let's continue up with our little swoopies. We're just joining all these arms of the spider web together.
I always found spider webs very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But I think too, just with your tips about not worrying about it being perfect, is really makes sense. You know.
Honestly, I mean, there's some beautiful, like Priscilla, your work is so precise, and it stresses me out trying to think of trying to do that. So this is my version. This is like a little wobble is okay, and I think also using just minimal product on the brush really kind of gives it a creepier effect, because the lines are not completely solid. They're a little bit broken. They look like they've been there a while. So really kind of using the very tip of this striper brush. Whoops. And we're kind of pulling from product that we already have on the nail, or on the brush, I should say. Just working our way around. And as we're continuing up, let's add a little interest here. So what I'll do is on this swoop, instead of following the same kind of pattern that we followed here, I'm going to start up here where I would start a normal swoop, but then I'm going to bring it down and swoop it to meet that little point right there. And then we can come up here, start this one. So our spider was a little tired when doing this web. Okay, and you can add another little one over here if you want. Just making sure when you do like a double swoop like that, it starts from the same point as the one above it and goes over to the opposite point of the one below it. Okay. And every so often I am picking up just a tiny bit more product on my brush, but again, like I showed you guys, just very, very minimal. And using the very tip. The striper brush I really like for this because it's such long bristles that it's very little movement of your brush to create the swoop. And if you need to, it also helps sometimes if you kind of move your client's nail.
You want to know a story about cobwebs?
Yes.
Well, I was taking my dog out, Molly, and we're just walking in the back. Haven't been there for a while, and I don't know how I missed it, but I missed a cobweb, and it went from one tree to the house. It was so long. I was just thinking how fascinating cobwebs actually are, and the time it takes spiders to create them.
They're actually really beautiful. If you look at them closely, they're so intricate, and like they are beautiful. I mean, they feel disgusting when you walk into them. But they are beautiful from afar.
And I think this time of year it's pouring out here in Victoria, and I just love how, you know, when water droplets go on top, like on them, it's just very cool.
It looks really pretty. So sorry you guys, this is a bit of a slow process, but I find watching videos like this, kind of like when you watch people like do swatch videos and stuff, I find it very relaxing. So hopefully you haven't lost you yet, but there's more to come, so stay tuned. And yes, I saw Wandering Wanda. She asked if this was going to be posted later. Of course it is. It's going to be saved here, and we'll also be reposting it on our YouTube channel as well, so you guys can watch the class back if you choose to. All of our complimentary classes this year have been reposted on our YouTube and Instagram pages, so feel free to look back. There's a playlist on our YouTube with all of the classes that we've had so far. This is our 9th class.
Crazy.
I know.
I
know.
I can't wait till Christmas.
Honestly, the Burr months are my favorite. Yeah. September, October, November, December.
And I was just going to say, I know you had mentioned that this is time consuming to paint, but I think like as nail artists, like for me, like it's just, I could watch it all day. You know, when someone paints lines or whatever it is. So
I find it very relaxing. So, I mean, salon friendly, but you definitely still have to book time in for this stuff, right? Like, it's not labor intensive or a technique intensive, but it is time set. Like, it takes time. So make sure you're booking your time in for that so you're not stressed. Nobody likes a stressed duckling.
Okay. We just have a question, Natasha,
sure.
while you're doing that, from Stephanie. Anyone have the best ideas on how to use a stamp, and also how to perfect the cat eye? I struggle with the magnet. I'm not sure. I guess that would be 2 questions, maybe?
Yeah. Okay, so for stamping, it's been a hot minute since I've stamped. I do use some sometimes. What issue are you experiencing? And for the
Cat
the cat eye, are you having an issue with it over like a client's nail or like on like a display tip, kind of like I'm doing here? Because there are some things that will kind of interact, like the post, if you're trying to do a really like intricate cat eye design, the magnet from the tip display post will kind of interrupt that. Okay, so you know what? I'm happy with that. That's our first little spider web. We're going to go ahead and cure this. I haven't cured it yet, but the beautiful thing, you guys, I don't know if you've noticed, is that our art gel is specifically formulated for this kind of stuff. So with its thicker viscosity and its jam-packed pigment-filled formulation, it really doesn't move. So you can lay down thin lines and you can keep going. And even though there's that little bit of inhibition layer on the nail, it's not going to really disperse or bleed out that much. So I'm going to go ahead and cure this. We're just going to do a little flash cure because it's a really, really thin coat, and we're going to do a full cure in a little bit here anyways. So the base is fully cured. The art gel is going to just flash cure because it's a nice thin layer, and then we're going to add another layer of 193.
Amazing.
Yeah. Crystal's giving me deep eye contact right now.
No, it's I just love watching you create.
Well, thank you. Okay, so again, 193, we're going to throw a little coat of that over top of here, and that's what's going to create the dimension and the depth, and it's going to make it look like this spider web is in the background, and then we're going to polish another one in the front in the foreground. So I might do a second coat of 193 over this, just because I feel like this isn't kind of shadowed out enough. What I could have done, there's two options. You could mix a little bit of 193 on your palette with a little bit of white gel polish just to give it a little bit more pigment and do that, or you could mix a little bit of white in with your black art gel to make it like a soft gray just to soften it. But I just wanted to stick with the straight black art gel just to show you guys how pigmented it is, and also I wanted to make sure that it showed up on camera. So, or you can do what I'm doing, you can just do another thin layer of 193 on top after that. I'm just going to scroll through here. I saw, okay, I just do my own nails, and with the stamping I can't seem to pull the picture on the rubber stamp. I've used gel color brush on, or even just got the color gel pod. Okay, so are you trying to use our gel for stamping? Because there are specifically formulated products that are meant for stamping. So obviously there's the like the stamping polish. I know that some of our gel polishes have worked in the past. I've tried them, but I honestly, it's been a long time, so I can't remember exactly what numbers. But you would definitely need to use something that's more formulated for stamping purposes, because it has to have a specific formulation. And then I think you'd have a better luck, because not all gels and polishes will work for stamping, because it definitely is a specialized formulation. Okay, let's come on here. We're going to do one more coat and see how just that additional thin coat is already kind of blurring that out more and making it look further back, further away.
It's kind of like you said, little things like this, it makes it eerie, kind of like
yeah,
this,
like fog. Honestly, seriously, yeah. Get out of here, get out of here.
But it's amazing how you can tell a story with doing nail art like
yes,
this. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
Yeah.
You can totally set a tone and a mood with your nail art. So again, one little layer, actually two thin layers of 193 over top of those spider webs that we just did. Then once this second layer, third layer of 193 is cured, we're going to come in with some more black art gel, and we're going to hand paint these lines again right on top. I'll just see here. Okay, I'll look to see what stamping gel she's using. You're welcome, Stephanie. I hope that answer was okay. But there are stuff out there for you to use for sure. Okay. So now, because we did our first web up at the top left here, we're going to hop down and do the other web in the top, or the bottom right. So we're going to reload our brush. Just rolling through and wiggling lightly through that art gel. Okay, loading up that brush. And let's come over here, and I don't want to put a line directly over top of that one. We want it kind of staggered. So let's lay down our first line here. And can you guys see I'm kind of rotating the nail as well? That really helps. Oh, thanks, Vianique. Oh, hi, Vianique. I didn't see you pop in, but thank you. This one's going to be a big old spider web, so we're going to come down here, just drawing the arms of the spider webs. I'm not sure if that's what they're called, but that's what we're referring to them as. It works.
Yeah, I was going to say, what would it be called?
I'm not sure.
I could think of some other things. Not so nice things.
Okay, really kind of focusing mostly. See, my line broke there. That's okay, especially for this design. I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to go back. We are going to rejoin that. And it's a little bit heavier here and a little bit thinner there. Perfection.
I love that. Everything you do, Natasha, is perfection.
Well, let's not push it, but thank you very much.
It's true. Everyone would agree in the comment section. If you guys agree that everything Natasha does is perfection, give us heart.
Wow, I feel very uncomfortable at the moment in time. Okay, reloading my brush. And we are going to start again down at the middle here. So I've got a bit of product here already. Let's just utilize that. We're going to go ahead and draw our little swoopies.
Well, just to let you know, the hearts are coming in.
Oh, you guys. Love you. Little swoopy doops. And if you look really closely at a spider web, it actually almost spirals in the very center. And then as it goes out, it gets more and more spread. So let's try. We're getting tight quarters here.
I think this, sometimes when you go through life and certain things make you curious, I think this whole process of how a spider web is actually created is something that I'm gonna Google later, because it is fascinating, honestly. And just watching how you put it together, it's like, where did the spider start? Honestly,
that might actually help you
get over my fear.
Well, at least be a little bit more comfortable. Maybe. I mean, I'm not.
Well, don't push it.
I'm not going to push it. I'm not saying for sure, but I'm saying it may be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, we're working our way, folks. As we go up here, I'm going to do a little swoopy swoop to join that one. Give it a little razzle dazzle. Little pizzazz. Honestly.
Yeah.
Who hired me?
Sometimes you just need those certain people to feed off.
A little razzle dazz. Okay, so here I got a little cray cray with the black. I kind of overshot the line, so I'm just going to use my silicone tool, and we're just going to do a little swipies right there. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to continue on like it never even happened.
That's the great thing about those silicone tools, is they really,
Honestly, lifesaver, game changer. I always have them in my brush case because they are very handy.
You can use them for multiple things
Yep.
too, like clean up if you touch the skin when you're doing a full gel polish application.
Totally.
Different art techniques, especially with our 3D gel, so many different things.
I really like them for, I know we have a great chrome tool. I really like our silicone tools for applying chrome too.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah, we're going to do that a little bit later. Okay, so we're continuing on. You guys okay in there? You have any questions, comments?
I think everyone's good.
Stories?
So far. Yeah, you can share your spider stories or your trauma stories. I know, because it's getting wet out. That's when they typically like to try to find little homes.
Yeah, Christical has been having an issue with some spiders setting up camp in her house.
Yeah, gotta seal all the holes.
She's not a fan.
No.
I get frantic messages some evenings. All I see, you know how you get the preview? Yeah. And I just know. If there's a video attached, I'm like, I know what this is.
Totally.
Poor Christical.
You just roll your eyes at me most of the time.
But you know what, though? I get it, because I'm okay with the smaller ones, but when they get really beefy...
Imagine a spider beefy.
No, it's a
thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah.
When you can hear them walking on your floor, no thank you. I would not fare well, and you would not be good in like Australia or something like that. It'd be game over.
Yeah, Anya said this time of year in Belgium we see big house spiders coming out. Yeah, it's pretty typical. Don't your cats kill them. That's true, P. Yeah, sometimes I do find them around the house, and I do have a little dog, and I think she's actually also the one that gets them too, but not always. Maybe I need to get more cats. And I would.
It's a male searching for females. Oh, is that what they're doing?
To have babies.
Naughty little things.
Out of my house, thank you.
Thanks, but no thanks. This ain't no hotel.
Priscilla has 3 cats, so that's my problem. I need to get a couple more.
Priscilla is the cat whisperer. Okay. We're almost there, folks. So as you can see, we've got nice and close and cozy down here. And as I'm going up, I'm making more of a space between all of the little swoopy swoops, because this is how it is in nature. Essentially, you're watching the, what is it? The Discovery Channel? This is a nature documentary. Are you guys learning lots? I knew it.
It's a good to have conversations once in a while about
For
things.
sure. Okay. A little swoopy swoop over here.
It looks great.
Adding some little razzle dazz.
Little pizzazz.
Little pizzazz. Okay, let's pop that in for a cure. And then we're going to finish this bad boy off with Crystal's favorite, spider. And it's a chrome spider, and we have added a little bit of texture in there, and I'll show you guys how to do that, because isolated chrome is so fun, and it really is a neat way to add an extra little something to a feature nail or a full set, whatever you would like. But it's simple. So let's go ahead and do that together. I'm going to cure this nail I'm going to seal the nail, with some matte. Now, the best kind of thing I've found when doing isolated chrome is sealing with matte, removing that inhibition layer, and then we're actually going to take our fine buffer and we're going to buff the surface of the matte. Because if you used our matte before, you know it has a beautiful kind of velvety touch to it, and it is beautifully matte. However, that velvety kind of texture will grab onto some of the excess chrome powder that we apply, and just to make our lives easier and the cleanup easier, we are going to just lightly buff the surface of the matte with a fine buffer after it's cured, and that's going to help minimize any excess chrome getting stuck to the surface. Okay, we're going to cure that for 60 seconds. Are the flowers on your own hand also hand painted? Yes, they are. They are, with our gel polishes. I did the palette of colors on this hand, and then I did the flowers on this hand.
It looks good.
Thank you. I'm just going to, oops, sorry. I'm just going to take a sip of water.
Natasha, can you leave your hands on her a little bit longer so people can actually look? Thank you. Every time I ask her, oh, let me see your nails, she flashes them at me. I need to inspect them.
Yeah.
Just because they're so beautiful. People want to see how.
Got my little witch finger.
No, they look great, honestly. I just get so mesmerized with nail art. It's just sometimes we just want to have a really good investigation here. They're beautiful.
You know I love flowers. You know I love florals. Florals are one of my favorite things to paint. And you know why? Because you can paint anything and make it look like a flower, and it doesn't even have to be a real flower. It's a made-up flower, and it looks like a flower because you've got center, you've got leaves. You're good to go. Okay, so we've done a full 60-second cure on this one. Now we're going to take our lint-free wipes, which I have to tell you guys, they are lint-free. Lint-free. They're so awesome, and especially when you're doing nail art, because we know as soon as you open anything gel, lint just spawns out of nowhere. Okay, so cleanse that with some gel cleanse and my lint-free wipe. Then I'm taking one of our fine buffers, and I'm just lightly buffing that surface. Like I said, we're we're lightly buffing it, so the nail is still going to be sealed. We're not buffing away the matte top coat. The nail is still sealed. All we're doing is just kind of smoothing that surface a little bit more, and that will help from any of the excess chrome powder from sticking where we don't want it to stick, and just helps minimize the cleanup after. All right, and let's just wipe that off. I'm just using a dry wipe here. If you have our Dusty's Dust brush, you can use that, or our scrub brush. I just forgot to grab mine, but a lint-free wipe will do as well. Okay, so we've got a nice, soft, matte finish there. I'm going to jump over to my palette again, my platter, because we are going to start painting our spider. So we're going to break this down into sections. First, we're going to create the body, then we're going to create the head, and then I'm going to cure and chrome, and then do the legs. And I do this, I could do it all at once, but I just, first of all, I don't trust myself because I'm clumsy. Second of all,
hashtag truth.
If you over cure, then the chrome may not work as well. I do have to say, our art gel is amazing for chrome, because the art gel, it cures with very little to almost no inhibition layer. It makes it amazing for chroming. So you don't have to paint your design, then do a top coat, then chrome, then do another top coat. You paint your design, you chrome right over that, and then you top coat it. So really, we're taking out a whole step, which is huge, especially when you're working in a salon or anywhere. It's nice to be able to minimize the steps. So let's go ahead. I grabbed my my Omni II, which is our newest Omni tool, and it's got quite a large dotting tool on one end, and we're going to use that just to kind of get the rough shape of our body. So his body, he's got some cake, he's got a peach back there, he's got a little bit of a booty. So we're going to go ahead and make a nice robust booty. And just work that. I've got some product on the nail, and I'm just working in circular motions to spread that product out.
And we have 12 art gel colors altogether.
Yes, we do. And they're all wonderful. And the glitters, let me tell you, woo!
Silver, rose, gold, and gold.
Oh,
yes, please.
They're so sparkly. Okay. And so if you ever do use our art gels, they are thicker viscosity. You'll notice the glitters are quite thick, but that's because they're so dense with glitter. So what we recommend doing, if you find it too thick for whatever you're using it for, you can put a little bit on your palette or your platter and then add a tiny bit of tacky top to it, and that'll just help make it a little bit more fluid. Okay, so we've got our booty in place. Now let's add the noggin, the head. And we're making this smaller because his head is not the same size as his body and his booty. Okay. Oh, whoopsie. Okay. Making it a bit bigger because I nudged it there. Okay, great. So now I'm not going to add any product to my striper, but what I am going to do is we're going to create his little fangs. So if you can see here, Crystal's just crawling over there. We've got two little fangs. We're going to create those fangs just by pulling out some of the existing product that's already on the nail. So we're going to pull out here one little fang, two little fangs, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to cure this for 30 seconds. I find 30 seconds is kind of the sweet spot in our LED lamp, our rechargeable LED lamp, for chroming over our art gel. Now, of course, this will vary depending on the thickness that you apply to. So when we get into texturizing his body here, making it look a little bit hairy, we're going to be using a thinner amount of art gel, so I may only flash cure it for like 20 seconds, because if you do over cure it, the chrome's not going to stick as well. Okay, we've got 5 seconds left. Excellent. And today I'm going to be just using an orange chrome that I've picked up in my travels along the years, but you can use whatever chrome powder you have. And as mentioned, I am going to use my silicone tool, and I think hold on one second. My other one, my favorite one, is in my little kit here. Sorry. I think. Is it? Maybe not. Okay, well, oh, it's right here in front of me. I really like using, so the silicone tools come in a 2-pack. They come, so there's 4 different heads. There's like these chiseling ones, there's one on an angle, there's this like doe foot one, and then there's this kind of like pencil shaped one. I really like this one for applying chrome because you can be really precise with it. So you're not rubbing chrome all over the nail, especially when you're working with isolated chrome. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of chrome on my silicone tool here. And tap off some excess, and then we're going to go straight in to our little body, and we're just going to chrome right on top of that art gel, and it's just chromed so nicely.
It's nice because it gives that pop of, you know, color to the design.
Totally. And it definitely needs that because it is a very plain kind of background, so that pop of orange. I've done this with a green as well. The green looks really cool. All right, and then what you can do is you can dust off the excess, and then what I'll do is I'll actually take the other end of the silicone tool and just drag it around, and that picks up any excess powder as well, which is nice. Okay, so now we've got that. We've got his little body and his little head. Now we're going to do the legs. So the legs are done in a couple sections. It's not just a straight line. So basically it's one section, it's a little bit thicker up here. Then we do the middle section a little bit thinner, and then the very end is almost like an elongated fang. It kind of starts a little bit thicker up here and just goes to a nice point. So we're going to do 8 of those. We're going to start with the ones up here first, and you can see there's kind of 4 closer to the head and then 2 more so on the body. So I'm going to grab, this time I am going to grab a little bead of product because I want it to be a little bit thicker. So let's start here. So this is the first. This is like his bicep. Okay, and then I kind of almost make it like a little bit rectangular on the end. Then we're coming over here, and we're going to do the second part of his little arm. And then the third little part, just a little guy. Okay. And we're going to do the other one here. So we're coming straight out. This is the first part. We're doing it in 3 parts. So his little bicep, his beefy bicep. And then we've got the middle part, which is a little bit smaller than the top one.
Did you just say beefy bicep?
I did. I was like, oh, she didn't laugh.
No, it's funny. It was a very delayed reaction. That's funny.
Okay, I'm actually gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cure this because I just don't want it to move, which it won't. But we need to cure his beefy bicep in place. So we've already done these 2 arms. We're gonna do the rest now. I'm just curing that, and then we're going to chrome it just so you guys can see, and then we'll move ahead and finish the other legs. And then what we're going to do is, of course, anytime you apply chrome, you're always going to have to apply top coat. So I will definitely be reaching for my tacky top, or no, I'll definitely be reaching for my no wipe. Tacky top is a great option too if you like to cleanse after curing. I'm just all about the lazy girl aesthetic, and I just like not having to cleanse my top coat after it comes out of the lamp.
We're smart, not harder,
exactly. Right? All right.
We have products for all.
We do. All right, let's burnish that chrome in there. Look at those little legs, those beefy biceps. Okay, and then I'll take the other end of my tool, just swipe off any excess powder.
So now, would you do it like this in sections, Natasha, opposed to painting all at once and then chroming? Is there a reason for it? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, you can, like, when I did the demo nail at home, I did 4 legs at once, and then I cured, but I'm finding it a little bit warm in here today, so the gel is a tiny bit more fluid.
Gotcha.
And when you're doing more detailed, sometimes it's better just to kind of work back and forth, just so you can keep the detail of what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and let's do his matching little legs over here. So we're gonna come out. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose. All right, so bicep, forearm, and we're getting smaller and thinner as we work down his arm here, and then a tiny little finger. I don't know. This is what I'm saying. Bicep, forearm, finger.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Again, it's the Discovery Channel here. You guys are learning a lot about nature. It's a very reliable source.
We did some research before this
Yeah.
live.
Bicep, forearm, finger. You guys are going to be saying that, and your clients are going to be like, what?
Totally.
Okay, then the other ones are going to be going the other way, so...
Stephanie says, who needs school when we can watch these videos?
You know what, Stephanie? You are welcome.
Exactly.
We try and
make learning fun.
Yeah. We try and give our ducklings the most, and I think we're accomplishing that today. Honestly. Oh, jeez. Yeah. You know what? At least the audience is matching the vibe.
Absolutely.
Because let me tell you, sometimes people don't think we're funny. Okay, so I'm just repeating those same steps, working my way down for his other legs here. The back ones probably could be a little bit beefier, but that's okay.
Stephanie, very informative on everything life, nature, and nails.
Well, excellent. This is great feedback.
You can add that to your resume.
Thank you very much.
The flings of your talent.
Oh, that one got a little thicky thick. Okay, I'm getting scared, so we got one more leg to add, but I'm gonna pop that in the lamp. And this just goes to show you guys. I've been doing nails for, how long have we been doing nails now? 17 years?
No way, we're gonna be celebrating 18 next.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay.
For 20, let's go on a vacation together.
Yeah, let's just do it. But I'm saying, I've been doing nails for this long, and I still, you know what? I still get nervous. I still get a little gun shy, and this is one of those moments where I'm like, let's not push it. Let's just go ahead. Let's cure it.
Like nervous that you're going to mess up.
Yeah. Because, believe it or not, it has happened once or twice. Okay.
We're humans.
Alrighty.
What did I miss?
She said the spider leg's thicker than a Snicker thick.
Nice.
Honestly.
I love the contribution.
That's perfect.
Excellent.
Thick. She's thicky thick. What's that thing that was on Instagram? Somebody gonna match my freak. Totally. Stephanie's definitely picking up the vibe.
Nice, honestly.
Atta girl, Steph. All right, we've got 7 legs. Let's go ahead and add the 8th. Thick thighs save lives. That's awesome. We're going to overlap this leg a little bit because I did get a little carried away there. And I try to add a little kind of almost point on the end of every joint so there's more definition. Okay. Actually, well, that leg is there. That leg's not going to go anywhere because it's not overly thick. Let's add some texture to the booty. So we're going to add some texture to make it look like it's a little bit hairy. So I've got a little bit of art gel on my striper brush, and I'm basically just doing little dashes. I'm following the shape of his body or her body. We don't know if this is Charlotte or if this is someone else. So shape of the body. Hold on, I think somebody said their beefy baby is hanging off their nail. That's so funny. Honestly, we don't discriminate here. Everyone is welcome. Thicky thick. It's all welcome.
Well, I know it's interesting because, like, even when you did your Christmas class,
yeah,
and like just with the gingerbread, it's like I think everyone had a different look, and I was struggling too. I'm like, oh wow, so they're all gonna look a little different.
But that's the thing, is everybody definitely has their own styles, and when it comes to art, or even, like, I know here, there's actually a lot of nail artists in our community here in Victoria, and when I was working in a salon, I was able to tell whose work was whose just by the style of their structure and their shaping and all that kind of stuff. So, same with art.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's chrome those little hairs. And the 7th or the 8th leg, I should say. And I mean, you don't have to add the hairs, but I just think it kind of adds a little bit of interest to that body so it's not so flat. If you were wearing a glove, you could take your glove and just lightly blend the chrome in too. Of course, wearing gloves when you're working on clients. I just wanted to show you guys my nails today, so that's why I'm not wearing gloves. Okay, so let's take some No Wipe Topcoat. I'm gonna take some No Wipe Topcoat. I'm gonna put some on my palette here, and then we are just gonna go over our little spider and seal that in. And I'm going to use my Detailer 2. This is my Ride or Die brush. I love this brush. It's the one I always recommend if somebody's new to our line and they're wondering what brush to start with. Detailer 2 is always the one I tell them to start with for art. Okay, so we're going to do it in sections just so we can keep it kind of from blending. So let's do his body first. So I'm going to pick up a bead of No Wipe. I might even pick up a bit more. And we're just going to focus on this area. And if you go over into the mat a little bit, that's totally fine. It's better to have it a little bit on the mat just to make sure that all of that is sealed in. And then I'm going to flash cure. I'm going to just get this in the light really quick here. We're going to flash cure, but we're going to do a final cure at the end, so everything will be fully cured. It's just that I want to have some definition of the body, and then the head, and then the legs, and so on and so forth. Detailer 2 is your fave also? Excellent. Love to hear it. Okay, so we've got the body. I'm actually going to turn my rechargeable light on stay on, which will be handy for this when you're flash curing. That way you don't have to waste time trying to make sure it's on and all that kind of stuff. So I'm put a dot there, and then we're going to drag it just lightly over the little fangs and flash cure. That one was moving quick. Just scrolling through to make sure I haven't missed anything. Oops. Okay. Excellent, excellent. All right, now let's go ahead and seal those little legs. Move my palette out of the way. Sometimes it's hard to focus when there's lots of stuff on the screen. And just go over those little legs. Because otherwise, eventually, if something like chrome isn't sealed, it'll wash off when your client washes their hands, or it'll wear off. So just making sure we go over those areas. Okay. Detailer and Detailer 2 is perfect for this kind of work.
I agree. I really like the difference, like with the shiny parts versus the matte parts and designs. It's really nice.
Me too. I really like it. It's so effective. And that's the thing. There's like whenever I do art classes, people are always like, "Oh, I'm not that artsy. I'm not that this. I'm not that." But you know what? Nail art can be different things. Just because you may not be able to hand paint a face doesn't mean that you can't create beautiful nail art using different finishes or different textures. Like even just that little bit of adding a little bit of texture to the body there, it makes a difference. So don't be hard on yourself. Everybody has their own style of art and their own strengths. So just gonna take a sip of water here. Make sure you hydrate.
Totally.
Okay, so while that's curing, let's talk about our next one. We are gonna do our melted candy corn.
I love it. Did I tell you what? Oh, French twist. Is that what I said?
Yeah, there you go. You didn't.
Like
You said you were gonna get back to me on it, and you never did.
Okay. Yeah, they're like French twists, and I see that with the candy corn too.
Totally. So it's a French twist. So we've got the area at the French line is kind of occupied, but it's not a traditional French line by any means. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna do Crystal's hydrating with coffee. That a girl. Normally I would, but I'm already feeling a little bit zippy right now. So okay. So we've got our little spider nail all done. Spider and spider webs, chrome. Now, let's go over to our melted candy corn. So I'm going to grab another one of my tips, and we are going to start off with a base of number 131. On the client nail, is it better to do 2 layers of matte or just 1 is enough? 1 layer is enough of matte, and then just lightly buff the surface. That's all I've ever done, and it seems just fine. Okay, so 131, which is one of our OG shades. It's this beautiful semi-sheer milky pink color, and it works beautiful for a base for French or full color. And we also have our French collection too, which is another collection full of shades similar to this that gives the same effect. Okay, so pop that in a lamp for a cure. I might do 2 coats just to make it a little bit more solid. And then can you see we've got some little glitter. We've got a glitter moment going on there, and that is our beautiful Pixie Dust top coat. So one of our new top coats, our newest top coat actually, and the beautiful thing about it is it's HEMA-free. So we're working really hard here at Ugly Duckling to offer some HEMA-free options. And so with our gel polishes moving forward, all of our collections, the new collections that we release, will be HEMA-free formulations. Okay, let's do a second coat of 131. All right. And let's cure that. Perfect. Then I'm going to reach for my Pixie Dust. This is our Pixie Dust top coat. It may be hard to see in the camera, but man, oh man, this is so beautifully iridescent and reflective. Oh, you've got your flash there? Let's give it a go. Hold on.
Yeah, let's give it a little.
Let me turn this off for a sec.
We're going to go dark for a minute here. It's so reflective, but
it's very reflective. So the beautiful thing, people have been asking about, what's the difference between your hollow top coat and your Pixie dust? Well, let me tell you, the Pixie dust is a cat eye, and it also, the pigment in there is so fine that it's iridescent. So you can put it over any color and you still see that beautiful color underneath. And it's meant to give that kind of prismatic rainbow effect. This top coat is so magical in person. Yes, it really is. It's beautiful. So you can use it with or without a magnet. I'm going to attempt with today. So let's put on some of our Pixie dust here, minus the fuzz from my sweater. And we're just top coating the whole nail. Okay, and I'm going to try and use the magnet, but you may not be able to see it too well on camera. It does shift. Oh, there we go. And I'm just kind of dragging it around because I really like kind of like that crushed velvet look with the cat eye. Okay, I'm going to pop that in for a cure. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to get our palette ready. So let me wipe off this black for, oh, actually no, we're good. We need the black for later. So I'm going to add some other colors here because candy corn, of course, is yellow, orange, and white. So we need those colors on our palette here. I'm going to take some number 176 gel polish, which is this beautiful orange. And then I'm going to take number 167, which is an awesome lemony yellow. And we're actually going to mix some white art gel in these. This is not only to kind of soften the colors just ever so slightly, but also give even more coverage. Because 167 has great coverage, but I find the color pops even more when it's either over a white or mixed with a little bit of white. So I'm going to do that for both of these shades because the orange is beautiful as well, but I want it just a little bit softer. So I'm taking white art gel and my duck paddle palette, or my duck paddle spatula. And we're going to pop down some white there and some white there. Now one of my one of my issues is that I tend to mix too much color. So I definitely waste products sometimes, which I'm trying really hard not to, but it's hard when you're mixing colors because you don't want to not mix enough. Mm-hmm. I'm going to add a little bit more orange to this. It's a little bit too soft. I added a little bit too much white. That's okay.
And that's an example too. If you didn't mix enough and you needed more to get it to match the color that you originally have, is kind of tricky.
It is tricky.
So I get that as well.
So mixing colors, I'm usually a little bit too generous with the amount that I mix, but that's okay. All right.
Did you use that originally?
I did.
Oh, I thought you used gel polish. My bad.
Oh, I did use gel polish. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, you're.
I just want to make sure that I'm not.
No, you're good. So, no, you're right. So I just took some orange art gel and I just added a little bit in there. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem. But it doesn't really matter because either way it's...
they're both similar, very, very similar in shade. It's just the viscosity. But I definitely, so I've used 176 and a little bit of orange art gel, and then a tiny bit of white just to soften ever so slightly. Then I'm going to come in and we're going to mix up our yellow here. So our yellow is number 167 gel polish with some white art gel. And I'm not going to mix all that white in right away. Perfect. So it just makes our yellow even more opaque and it just makes that color pop. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so this design we're going to be working from the top down. And as Christical said, this is like a, what did you say? What did you say? Was it twisted?
It's a French twist.
French twist. So that's exactly it. We are going to grab our painter brush, and we're going to just create an uneven kind of wobbly line at the top there. This is our French line, and then we're going to work downward. So I'm going to take yellow first, and I had triple checked this before I did this sample nail because there's been many times where I've hand painted candy corn and I've messed up the order of colors. So let's grab some yellow off of our palette. And let's start up here. We're going to start high up here, and there's no right or wrong to this. I just draw a squiggly line. We're just laying down our overall shape right now. Okay. Actually, you know what, you guys? I made a mistake, and I apologize.
Can I guess what it is?
Yeah.
You're supposed to start with the white.
You got it.
Oh, because I was questioning in my head. I love that I'm starting to know.
You got it. I definitely made a mistake, so I apologize. But this is good. This is good to see. And I'm actually just going to lightly buff the surface of our Pixie dust because it is a no wipe top coat, and I just want I want to make sure that my colors adhere well. So we're just going to lightly buff that.
Sometimes for me, like, because I'm not like, I don't do nail art tons, I like look at people's designs and just kind of wonder how
it was accomplished.
Totally.
Yeah.
And just to confirm, you guys, Natasha did use both gel polish in orange and the art gel in orange as well to mix, which you can mix in between the two systems.
100%. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about our color gel, our gel polish, and our art gel is that they're all, you can mix them all together and create your own custom shades, which is really awesome. And it essentially you've got endless colors. Okay, so let's grab our white art gel. Let's rewind. Let's go back to it here. I've got my white art gel, I've got my painter brush, and we are going to lay down a base of white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the white art gel just to define my French line here, and then I'm actually going to fill in with our white gel polish. So let's go ahead and make our little swoopy swirls. And again, there's no right or wrong with this. Just how you want that line to look. You can have it super swoopy, you can have it super drippy. Okay, and I'm just going to blend that art gel down so there's not a harsh line when I go over it with my white gel polish. Perfect, Christopher, thank you. Just a gentle reminder, you guys, no pressure at all, but there is a 15% off discount code that you guys can take advantage of on the Ugly Duckling website. You use Tasha15, and that'll give you 15% off of our website. Okay, so blending that down. And now I'm going to cure this white, and then we're going to go in and fill in the rest with our white gel polish. So essentially what we're doing is we're creating a white base all the way down. That's going to make our colors pop even more. It's going to give an opaque base for these two colors, and we're not going to have to do anything down here. Essentially, we're just going to have to go back and paint our yellow and our orange sections, and then the white will just be happy and all set down below. Okay. So I'm grabbing number 44 gel polish, which is our pure white gel polish. And we're just going over the whole nail here, or our whole free edge, I should say, the tip that we created. Of course, if you're working on a client, I would use the painter brush to get up close and personal on those side walls so we're not touching their skin.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Kathy from AR Nail Supply, one of our wonderful distributors.
You betcha.
We always appreciate when our distributors join us in
I
the
know,
comments
it's
section.
so nice. Okay, so coat of 44 on there. Let's cure that because this is our base, so we definitely need to make sure it's got a full cure. Then for those that maybe just be popping in, we're doing this melted candy corn nail. So we've taken a mix of 176 gel polish, which is an orange, and then some orange art gel and a little bit of white just to create this kind of custom candy corn orange. And then we took number 167 gel polish, which is a lemon yellow, and then a little bit of white art gel to create this candy corn yellow.
I want to try a set on Peyton.
Yeah.
I think she would like it.
She would like it, or even just a couple feature nails.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Don't push it.
That'd be so cute. She would like it. Peyton is Christina's daughter, for those of you that don't know. Her teenage daughter.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. All right. Let's come in now. So we are going to start with our yellow because our candy corn goes yellow, orange, white. So let's load up our brush again now that we've got that white base down, and I do apologize for that error on my part. But again, Po Buddy's Nerfect. Have you heard that before?
Oh, I love that.
I learned that from The Office the other day.
Oh, my daughter would love that. She would probably teach me that because she loves The Office. You both love The Office.
I do.
But what was I going to say? No mistakes, only
happy accidents.
There you go. Thank you.
No mistakes, only happy accidents. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just follow that line that we created with the white. And then I'm going to worry about working down and starting to create our drips. I just want to establish this line first. This is going to give us something to work from. Okay. So let's hold this way. Let's hold them both this way. So we've created some parts that are dripping down further, some that are kind of just mimicking what's above it. So here you can see the candy corn is technically melting down here, and then it continues down to melt here, and then comes kind of down here. So kind of structured, but not overly. You just want to make sure some areas kind of follow what's above them, if that makes sense. But definitely free reign with this too, so don't overthink it. So let's come down here. Let's do a drip down here. So to start my drip, I usually put a dot down of the color, and then I'll drag it up to meet the other section, and then we can thicken that and we can kind of broaden it. The biggest thing when you're doing drips is to make sure that your lines, wherever they meet, they're curved. They're not overly sharp or angular, because when things melt, typically it's kind of just like is a big blob moving down. So very smooth, soft lines. Okay. Working our way over here.
Oh, yes, that's true. AM Devices says nice colors, Belgian flag colors. So
Oh, yeah.
black, yellow, and I guess reddy orange.
Excellent.
For that. It's kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
Okay, let's add a beefier
drip.
A beefier drip over here.
Nice.
The word of the day is beefy.
I was gonna say I love the
terminology.
The wordology.
Yeah, the wordology. That's a Christicalism right there.
Totally. I wanted to be different.
It's all good. You make your own words.
Yeah.
But you know what? I still understand you.
You do, and that's the great thing.
Okay. We've got our yellow going. I'm using my painter brush. So this is our painter brush because I'm filling in a larger area. I kind of like it for making the drips because you can pick up kind of a larger bead. I'm going to leave this yellow for now because guess what? Once we lay down our orange, if I want to go ahead like how I've done, I'm going to put this in the lamp for cure, guys, while I talk to you about this. So let's pop that in the lamp and cure the yellow. So you can see on this one, I did my yellow and then did the orange and did a little drop of orange. Oops. There we go. Hold on. too many things in the frame. Did that little drop of orange there. So what I can do if I want is I can lay down my orange on this nail, and then I can add a little similar drop of like this, but in yellow over top of the orange, just to add a little bit more of that yellow, because on this nail I have quite a bit of yellow, not a ton of orange, which is why I added that little drop. But on this nail so far, we don't have a ton of yellow. We'll probably have more orange and a little bit of white. So I'll probably add a drop on its own of yellow somewhere in this open section. And that just comes with kind of, as you're creating these nails, you look at the balance, the overall balance, and see if there's any kind of open areas that need filling in. I'm just wiping off the yellow from my painter brush, and then we're gonna load it up with some of our orange. And I'm gonna be switching to I'm going to lay down some color with my painter brush because I want to get some color on the nail, but then I'm going to be fine-tuning it with my detailer too. So pick up some of that orange, and I'm going to take advantage of that bead and kind of come up in this area where that drip is coming down. Okay, and just following those lines we made with the yellow above. Actually, I might even just stick with my painter brush today. I don't really have anywhere that's too tight to get into with the painter, so far so good. But if I always like to have it, my detailer too handy, just in case I need it. Okay, over here, same thing. We're going to use that bead of product on the very tip of the painter brush for our advantage. Just following that shape. And you guys can notice I'm not bringing the orange down too far because I don't want to commit to anything down here yet, because we need to create the drips of the orange still. So basically, I just want to lay, like we did with the yellow, lay down our main kind of guideline. Then we'll go in and start adding the detail. So let's add a little drip here because this space is quite open. So lay down the bead. You can apply pressure and kind of wiggle your brush to make it a little bit bigger. And then as I'm pulling it up towards our guideline, I'm just lightening that pressure. Okay, and then as I mentioned, when we're joining this strip with the rest, we want to make sure it's a nice curved line. So curve that into the other one, make sure there's no really harsh angles.
And while you're doing that, Natasha, we have a question about which brushes are in your top 3, knowing the Detailer 2 is one of them. That's a good question.
Okay, so painter for sure.
Which is the one you're using?
Yep. Detailer 2, striper, and the petal brush.
Oh yeah, of course, because you do flowers.
Yes, the petal brush is awesome. It's great for other things other than petals, like sorry you guys, I'm trying to focus. It's better, it's good for things other than just flowers too. Like it's really nice for getting close to kind of the cuticle area and proximal fold when you're working on somebody who has short, like smaller nails. When you're applying gel polish, or I really like it for doing tortoiseshell nails too. It's a good size for adding like tortoiseshell spots. So those are probably my go-to brushes. Let's add a drip that mimics the one above it here.
So the code is Tasha15. I will put it in the comment section here for you guys. It is available for until Saturday at 11:59
p.m.
You got it.
Pacific Standard Time. That's what time zone our website is in. So Pacific Standard Time. And let's just color this whole section in orange here.
You're most welcome.
Oops, I touched this side. It's
okay.
It's not a nail art class until Tasha makes a mess of herself. Okay, yeah?
Who likes eating candy corn, or who actually knows what they taste like? Because I don't.
It's just pure sugar.
Is it? I can't remember if I've ever tried one.
You've never tried candy corn?
I don't think so.
Okay, let me tell you, I have candy corn that I use for props for my nail pictures, like at Halloween.
And you tried it? Oh, and they haven't
done anything. I've had them for years.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Test one out one day.
I will. I'll give it a go. It probably will not taste overly great, but okay, so you can see here, we've used a drip here to kind of fill in some space. Natasha says never try one. And then I did a drip under here to mimic the yellow one above, so it looks like this yellow drip is pushing that orange drip down. I do kind of want to blend this a little bit, soften it just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and cure that. We've got our orange in place. Yep. I'm second guessing myself. It's easy to get carried away. I've never tasted the taste of candy corn. It tastes like grainy sugar. Oh, never liked it. It totally does. It definitely tastes like white sugar that's just been made into a paste, but it's still gritty.
Almost like with a, you know, with the fondant, like that.
Yes.
Fondant texture.
Yes. 100%.
So maybe I have, because then that's coming to my memory cell.
Fondant is still smoother.
Okay.
Yeah. Candy corn is a beast of its own.
Okay. Fair,
yeah.
Fair.
It's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart.
I understand.
Okay. So, you know what? I actually like the amount of yellow we've got going on here, and I might just mimic our little sample nail here and put a little drip of orange. So this is when I'm switching to my Detailer 2 brush. I'm going to load up a little bead of that because, again, we want to use that to our advantage. So we're going to put our bead right there. I just dropped that down. Then I'm going to come over and I'm actually just going to clean off the excess product. And we're going to load our brush similar to how we did when we did the spiderweb. So basically little to no product on the brush, but we just want to saturate that brush with some of the color that we'll be using. So it looks like there's barely anything on there. I'm going to go to the drip that we just laid down. I'm putting the tip of my Detailer 2 brush right in the center, applying a bit of pressure because we want it to be thicker at the thickest point of the drip, and then as I'm pulling up towards the orange, I'm lessening the pressure and letting go. And that creates that kind of teardrop. Now, it could be a little bit better, so let's go ahead here. We're going to repeat the same steps. So apply a bit of pressure, pull up towards the orange, release pressure, and let go. And we've got our little drip there. Good? Good. Let's cure that. Good. And then let's break out some crystals. So I'm using jet crystals, clear as mud crystals in jet, which is the black. And I do have to say, even though these aren't traditionally like a reflective crystal, the facets on them make them sparkly still. They do reflect light. And Crystal is giving me her nod of approval over there. They're just so pretty.
The blinking. They are gorgeous, honestly.
Okay, so we've got some clear as mud crystals in jet. I'm using a variety of sizes for this one because we're doing kind of more, a little bit more detailed work. I'm not going to use overly large crystals. Like I think here is probably the 8, I'm pretty sure. And then I'll be going to like a 3 and 5 and then maybe a 3. So keeping them smaller. And again, this depends on the size of the nail that you're working on as well. Because not everybody has larger nail plates like this, so you may be working in a tighter space. I'm also got some caviar beads. I'm using black, but we offer some really beautiful silver and gold and rose gold caviar beads. I just wanted to stick with black because I wanted to match the crystals. And then, so our SS3s are probably my favorite. They're so tiny and they're so delicate, but they are awesome for design work because they really fill in spaces. Sometimes, you know, you have an area that's too big for something else, and they just add a little bit of sparkle. Where would I put a yellow drip if I need more yellow? Well, I'll show you on here. So see this area here? Like pretend this drip wasn't here. This area had a lot of white, so I just opted to put my little drip of orange in there. If I were going to add yellow, I would do a tiny drip in this section here, and like tiny. I'll put one on there for you. So let's pick up a little bit of our yellow. I'm going to have my light on stay on just so it's ready to go. Let's put a little tiny dot. Okay, I'm just loading up my brush a little bit with that yellow. And a little drop. So basically anywhere where there's a lot of open space, like this looks like a lot of open space, but it gets a little bit crowded over here, whereas here there was like a consistent amount of open space, if that makes sense. And if you wanted to, like, it doesn't have to be floating on its own. What I might do is I might actually join it with the rest of the yellow. Or you can keep it floating on its own, whatever you prefer.
Looks good, Natasha.
Okay, let's cure that. And while that's curing, let's get our Schtik It. Schtik it.
Every time, yeah.
Schtik it to them.
Stick them where the sun don't shine.
So you can see, so just a little disclaimer. Sometimes we get panicked messages from people saying, oh my gosh, my Schtik It arrived. It's gone bad. It's not good. The thing is, like most of us, Schtik It doesn't like cold weather. So if it's cold and your Schtik It arrives and it's grainy and kind of crystallized, don't worry. It's just because it got chilly. So all you need to do is you just need to put the cap back on, make sure the cap's sealed nice and tight, and then I pre-boil some, my kettle, so pre-boil some water. Then I'll pop this Schtik It in a mug of pre-boiled water for about 10 minutes, and it brings it right back to this proper, like, gel fluid consistency.
Totally, but also too for people who like to maybe, for me I have two Schtik Its. I have one that's just like this,
yep,
and then one that's more gritty and thick, because I find with using the pointed back crystals, it really helps to keep them in place. So it just depends on what you're doing with the Schtik It.
I completely agree, and you're right, I do have two as well, because it definitely, when it's thicker and more like crystallized and gritty, it really holds the bigger crystals in place, like Crystal said. Okay, so I'm also going to grab my Blinger, and we're going to use the dotting tool end of the Blinger, and we are going... Priscilla says I put it between my legs before using it.
Well, I was going to say, I could just sit on it, but I didn't want to say that.
I mean, you definitely could.
Yeah.
I'm just going to remove the fuzz from my Blinger. Okay. Hold on. Oh, my goodness me. What did I tell you, you guys? As soon as we open gel, it just spawns. Okay, so picking up some Schtik It, and we're going to lay that along the yellow line that we created. This is our French line. And keep in mind, wherever you lay Schtik It, you're going to want to put something on there before you cure it. Because if you cure this and there's no crystal or caviar or anything on it, then you're going to have a lump of cured gel there. So let's pick up one of our bigger crystals and then one of our SS3 maybe on this side. And then maybe an SS5. Let's just go to town, you know what I mean?
I think so too, but great. Foxy Paw Salon says, I'm so impressed by Schtik It. I was almost bearing away from crystals until I tried it. It's amazing.
Oh, good. We're so glad to hear that. Honestly,
We agree.
it definitely is a game changer when it comes to crystals and embellishments, like even caviar beads and stuff. It just holds on to them for dear life. But then when you come in, or your client comes in for a fill, it's easy to take off. So I'm just coming in with some caviar and I'm just following the yellow line that we created. I think it's time for another crystal moment, so let's go ahead, pop in an SS3 here. And the beautiful thing too about Schtik It is you can kind of manipulate your crystals and your caviar until you pop it in the lamp and cure it. So you can slide them around if you need to, get things kind of situated, and make sure everything's good to go before you cure. Whereas using like a traditional glue, which we have an awesome nail glue as well, but using your traditional glue, you're kind of in a race against time and it's panic. And sometimes for whatever reason, you accidentally drop a crystal where you don't want it and the glue is like instantaneously set. You know, it's brutal. So let's do one more crystal up here. I just love crystals for Halloween nails. I think it's so good. Okay, so and all I did to pick up my caviar, multiple caviar at a time, is I just kind of picked up a little bit of the Schtik It that's on the nail and then dipped it into my caviar dish. So that way I'm not having to go back and pick up individual beads one by one.
In case you guys didn't know, Natasha loves Halloween. It's her favorite season.
I do.
Isn't it?
Honestly.
You just love it.
Just from now until like January is just my favorite time of year. But Halloween and Christmas nail art are just chef's kiss.
Nice.
It's so good. So good. All right. And I'm not going to go all the way to the very edge of the nail just because sometimes depending on where the crystals and the caviar end, it can be a little bit irritating for somebody's finger. So we're close to the edge, but definitely not hanging over. So let's move these around a little bit more. Once I'm happy, let's put that in the lamp and let's cure that. Now, Schtik It will cure with an inhibition layer, so it's important to either seal over any exposed Schtik It with some no wipe top coat, or you can cleanse it. But in this situation, what I like to do, I'll show you what I like to do, just to really maximize the adhesion to the client's nail with the embellishments. I'm gonna butt up my top coats on either side. So this area, oh. Hi, sorry, I wasn't in the camera. This area is going to be matte, and then this area is going to be shiny so we can expose that beautiful Pixie dust top coat. So I'm going to come in with some matte. And if you are working in an intricate place and you're not confident with using the brush that comes with the top coat, you can switch to one of your art brushes, your Detailer 2 or your painter. But I'm just using that product and I'm butting it up to the edge of those crystals and that caviar. And that's just going to help seal them in even more. I mean, the Schtik It does an amazing job on its own, but it's just really nice to know that it's kind of surrounded and encased in the top coat too. All right, and then I'm going to mimic like I'm working on a client, so I'm going to grab my painter brush and to apply some no wipe top coat because we're working around the cuticle area and sidewalls up here. We don't want to be touching their skin, of course, with any product, so I'm just going to put some no wipe on my palette, and I'm using my painter brush, and I'm coming in here. Would work around the cuticle area, apply around the cuticle. Along those sidewalls. And just being mindful, especially when you're working with any of like the clear crystals, like the colored ones, or basically any crystal besides jet, because jet isn't translucent. You want to avoid going over the facets, even with jet, because if you soften the facets, that's going to soften the shine of the crystals. They're not going to be as shiny. And I have to tell you, our clear as mud crystals are very, very reflective and very shiny. And they're on special right now too, which is really awesome, just in time for Christmas and Halloween to stock up, because you know our clients love the bling this time of year. At least mine do. Okay, so I've got my matte down here. I haven't cured yet. I've got my no wipe up here, and you can see we've butted both top coats up on either side. I'll come up and over those caviar beads just a little bit. So everything is really well encased and adhered. Okay, let's go ahead and cure that for 60 seconds in our lamp. We're going to let that cure, and then once it cures, we're going to cleanse with our gel cleanse and lint-free wipe. I'm just tidying here. say. I don't know. Do you guys, is it like when you're working on clients, I try to be as tidy as possible, but I find when I'm doing like tips like this, my workstation becomes like a bomb went off. There's just stuff everywhere.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Almost there, you guys. Got 20 more seconds.
I think I like the candy corn.
Candy,
it's
so
adorable.
cute.
It's very cute.
Alrighty. And one big tip we have for your matte top coat is when it comes out of the lamp, let it sit for like 20 to 30 seconds to cool, and then cleanse it. And that just really gives the most potential for the maximum matte finish. We find that that technique really, really works. If you're ever using our matte top coat and you're finding it's not as matte as it normally is, what happens over time is the matte pigment in the top coat will actually start to settle. So sometimes what we're doing is we're not mixing it, we're using more top coat and there's not as much pigment mixed in. So by the time you get to the bottom, all of this pigment has settled on the bottom and it's really thick and goopy. It's because it's mostly just pigment. So we always recommend mixing your matte every few days if you're working in a salon, or every time before you use it if you don't use it that often, just to really ensure that that pigment is kind of dispersed through the top coat product.
And this live will be saved on our Instagram here, and we will also upload it to Facebook and YouTube. Thank you.
There we go. There's our melted candy corn now.
It looks so good.
Okay. We're going to be jumping back to some more chrome work, and we're going to do our boo nail.
Boo.
And then we're going to finish off with this cute little ghosty.
Well, speaking of boo.
Yes.
Natasha, I tell ya.
What?
Her goal in life is to scare me at work. Honestly, she gets me multiple times.
I do. I actually, over the years, I've done some videos where I scare her.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a compilation video.
Ah, don't worry about it. But honestly, you should.
We've got another Tipeez tip here, and for you guys, I'm using Tipeez Pointed Almond number 3. This is the kind of size I usually gravitate towards when I'm doing a nail art class or display sets. I just find they're kind of a nice size. Not too big, not too small, just right for displaying nail art. So I'm coming in and I'm using number 44, which is our white gel polish, thin, even coat. And let's pop that in the lamp for a cure. I'm going to do 2 thin coats of this to get ready for our pinstripe background. So I've already got some black art gel still on my platter here. If you guys need to load up your platter, then you're going to want to reach for some black art gel. And we're going to be using our striper brush again. And the beautiful thing about this is that those lines are not meant to be straight and even. They're meant to be a little bit wobbly, a little bit wonky. It just gives the nail kind of a whimsical feel. Okay. Second coat of white going on. Then even coats.
It's so pigmented, hey?
It is. It's very pigmented. Our white and black are very, very pigmented. For those who've never used Ugly Duckling gel polishes before, we have a very pigment-rich formula, so we always recommend thin, even coats. It's better to do 2 thin coats rather than 1 thick coat, just to ensure proper curing. Mm-hmm. But a lot of our colors are, depending on the application, are 1 coaters. In my opinion, they're awesome, and which makes them really, really awesome for nail art. That's all I use for my hand-painted stuff, is our gel polish, our art gel, and our color gels, a mixture of all of them. Okay. Time for pinstripes. So, this time, we are just going to grab a glob of black art gel. And we are going to come, to start off, usually if I'm doing this on a client, I'll flip their hand around and I'll look for the middle point in the very tip of the nail, depending on the shape that I'm doing. especially with a pointed almond. And we're just going to draw a line down the middle. And again, I'm not worrying about it making sure that it's even, or oops, that little area, don't even worry about it. This is going to this is going to add to the overall look. So now I've got my main line laid down. I'm going to come in, I'm just going to thicken it up. I'm going to add a little bit on this side, and see as I'm coming down the nail, I'm actually wiggling my brush a little bit. I want it to be a little bit wavy and a little bit uneven. Just add some more character to the nail, especially for a Halloween theme. Everything is kind of kooky and crazy. It just gives it some character. This would have been perfect for drinking coffee. The one time I'm doing lines like this and I don't drink coffee, and then the other times where I need to be on my game and I have like 4 cups. Okay, so we're just going to continue on with laying these black lines down, leaving roughly this similar space between the black lines of, so same roughly thickness of white between each black line. You can make your lines as thick or as thin as you want. Just try and keep them spaced evenly. And we're filling in as we go, just pulling that product that's already on the nail. Black art gel, all of our art gels are very, very pigment rich, so definitely use sparingly. If you apply it and you cure it and it wrinkles, that's a sign that you've just applied it a little bit too generous. Okay. Continuing down here, just making sure we get that side.
Kind of just reminds me of like Beetlejuice.
100%. The ghost with the most, babe. All right. So really not focusing on keeping the lines straight at all, which may be hard for some of our viewers because I know we've got some perfectionists in our midst here. Just try and let loose, let go, relax. Let the brush do the work. If it kicks out, oh well, guess what? Meant to be. Just Bob Ross it.
Absolutely.
Just happy little trees. All right.
It looks amazing, Natasha.
Oh, thank you so much, Christical Kronk. Priscilla's laughing because she knows that I'm talking about her. Just add a little bit there.
Looks great.
Alrighty, Roo. I might thicken this. Oh, yep. Well, I'm going to have to now because my brush hit there. So I'm going to thicken that up a little bit. All right. Let's pop that in the lamp and cure that bad boy. You guys.
Did you smudge it?
Look what I did. Just a little one, but my nail hooked it. Honestly. It's okay. That's 2 today.
Was it? That's actually pretty impressive, though.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so we've got our lines laid down. I'm much better than before. Well, that Bob Ross in it, that's good news, Priscilla.
Sometimes you just have to let go.
Just let it go, you know?
It's hard, but
okay, so we've laid down our pinstripes, and now we're going to, again, matte out that background because we want our boo in chrome to be nice and shiny and pop against that matte. So, perfect. Going to grab my matte top coat, and we're going to seal this. And again, once you guys have sealed this, you're going to cleanse that inhibition layer off. and then we're going to lightly buff with our fine buffer. The reason why I use a fine is because we're not trying to rough up the surface at all or anything like that. We just really want to kind of help smooth it. Using a brand new medium or coarse might be just a little bit too much. So reach for the fine, and that seems to do the trick for me at least. Okay. Curing that. And while that is curing, we are going to, we're going to break this down. I'm going to break this down for you. So essentially what we're going to do first is we are going to actually write out the word boo. And again, beautiful thing is we're not worrying. We want the letters to be a little bit wobbly. And then we're going to add a little bit of drip there. We're going to do the word boo first. We're going to cure it and then chrome over that. And then we're going to outline it with some more black art gel just to define it. You don't have to if you don't want to. You know what? We can even look at it together when we've got just boo down and see how we like it. But I just like to add the black around because it really kind of makes it pop out from the background. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got our mat on here. Let's let this sit for a couple seconds here before I cleanse it with gel cleanse and a lint-free wipe. It is still pouring. What's it doing where you guys are? It is definitely a fall day here today.
I know my aunt sent me this morning a video from her porch because she knows how much I love rain. It just coming down in the forest and the trees. I love it.
That's so nice. Okay, so we've got our beautiful mat here, and before I get ahead of myself, let me take my fine buffer. Just lightly buff that surface. Again, this is just to minimize any transfer of the excess chrome powder. And because our fine is so smooth, it's not leaving any marks on the nail. It's just simply kind of helping smooth it. So just wiping it with a dry lint-free wipe to get rid of that dust. All right, let's write boo. It's pouring in View Royal, yeah. Oh, you View Royal. Oh, our little neighbor over there. Okay, so maybe what I'll do, because we've got the black in the background, I'm going to use my orange art gel. You can use black if you want to, but I just really want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing on camera. And because I'm using orange chrome, I can use orange art gel, no problem. So I like to start with the middle letter. And luckily boo is only 3 letters, so it's kind of simple. We'll start with an O. Hand painting words can be a little bit tricky just for spacing, so boo is a good one to start with because it's only 3 letters. Okay, so I'm going to pick up some orange art gel, and great thing, just like those pinstripes, is we're not going to make it even. We're going to make it kind of spooky and jittery, uneven. So I'm doing a big O. Line broke there, so I'm just going to rejoin it. I'm going to lay down the letters first, and then we can come in and add some razzle dazzle. You can add some drips. We can thicken it up in areas. I just want to lay down the letters first. So I'm doing the other O on this side. Okay. We're kind of going like, you can see the O in the middle is kind of a little bit higher. The O on the very right is a little bit lower. So let's do the B a little bit lower. So I'll draw the end. And we can kind of, I like to kind of follow the shape, at least for boo, of the letter beside it. So you can see this top of the B is a little bit smooth to kind of mimic the shape of the O beside it. And then over here, you can bring this out, mimic the O, but then I'm going to drop it down here and open it up a little bit more because there's nothing beside it, so we can open that up a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to come in and thicken things up. So I'm gonna thicken this O up here, and we can make it look like it's dripping. That seems to be a good theme for Halloween, is dripping things. Always effective at Halloween, slime, that kind of stuff.
I love orange. Like for Halloween.
Yeah.
Fall.
I do too. That's actually Christicle's mom's favorite color.
It is.
We call her the pickle. Okay, just adding some pizzazz to these letters. Again, thickening in some areas, making them wobbly. Okay, slightly holding my breath, but not as much as I normally would. All right, let's go ahead and add a drip on this guy. Let's add a few drips. So I'm going to flip the nail over because I want to put down my bead where I want that drip to be. Let's put another one in the O. We're going to join that up with the rest. Remember, whenever we're joining a drip, we always kind of like to curve those lines, make them a little bit smoother, so it's not a harsh line. I'm going to thicken this up here a little bit more, I think. There we go. Let's add one from the B too. We got a little bit of a one there. Let's just thicken that up a little bit. Can make even one coming down here. You can really get carried away. It's very easy to get carried away when doing this kind of stuff. Sometimes it's hard to know when to stop, but that's the fun of it.
That is.
Okay, so we've got boo in place. I might need to thicken this area.
We got what in place?
Boo.
Excellent.
All right, let's cure this. We're going to cure this for, I'm going to do about 40 seconds, just because in some areas I have applied it a little bit thicker, and I just want to make sure that it's cured well, but not too much so that the chrome doesn't adhere properly. One thing I will mention is that it's good to kind of clean off your silicone tool if you're using it for chrome every now and then, just because sometimes it will pick up some of the inhibition layer, and that can kind of, it'll still chrome, but you might get more of like a shimmery sparkly look rather than in a full-on chrome. And then just make sure that you dry that with a lint-free wipe as well. Okay. Almost there, you guys, but 20 more seconds. We've got my orange chrome, and I don't usually typically dip right in the container. I usually use what's on the lid because a little bit does go a long way. And I'm just going to wipe off the other end, my cleanup end of my silicone tool too. Okay. I mean, you don't even have to chrome this. This already looks kind of cool just with the orange boo. But we're going to add some chrome. Hi from Germany. Well, hello. Thanks for joining. Okay. And we're just burnishing on that chrome into that cured art gel. Sorry, I realize I keep shaking the camera. It's because my arms are resting on the table. I'm trying to hold them up. And again, I'm using a silicone tool. I like the kind of pencil-shaped one from the 2-pack. It's a 2-pack, but there's 4 heads. So there's 2 pens with a different silicone tool on each side. We don't have chrome at the moment, but that's definitely something that I'll pass along to our product development team and let them know that people are interested in it for sure. This is just a chrome that I've picked up in my travels along the years, going to shows and that kind of stuff. All right, we're getting there. Amazing. So let me just take a lint-free wipe, just lightly dust off some of that, and then I'm going to take the other end of my silicone tool, and we're just going to clean up any excess. And that's why we also buff the nail, to help minimize transfer. I've got a little bit here, so what I'm going to do is just, I've got a lint-free wipe with a little bit of gel cleanse, just going to wipe off my cleanup end and come back in. And I'm not going to fuss too much because I think we're going to outline it in black. And then we can cleanse the nail once everything has been sealed with no wipe over our boo and our black outline. So don't worry about this too much right now. Let me just put the lid back on my chrome. And we are going to go back into our black art gel. This time I'm going to use my detailer 2, just because there's some tight spaces in there that I want to make sure we don't go over too much. Trying to follow the squiggly lines as much as possible that we made. We're just going to start outlining our letters. You could also sugar this. If you didn't want to do chrome, you could sugar the word boo with some translucent glitter or clear acrylic. Sugaring is always a favorite of mine too. It's such a neat technique. It's a neat way to add dimension and texture to the nail without adding too much like bulk or anything. If somebody doesn't want necessarily something 3D, but they want a little bit of something, sugaring is a great option. I'm trying to stay still while still watching. Don't move. So I'm starting with the inside first, and then we're going to go around the outside and kind of get in those smaller spaces. How's everybody doing? So far, so good?
Yeah, totally. Like, for me, I'm just, like, so focused on watching you paint. A question, can I do the chrome process with a brush?
Yeah, I mean, you can, absolutely. Or we have, like I was saying, we have a chromer tool as well. So just whatever way you like to apply chrome, I just personally always reach for my silicone tool. You just want to make sure you're able to kind of burnish it in to really give that chrome effect.
Or even like our Ombre II brush?
Yep, totally. Okay. And flip a doodle. Now before, when I've done it, I've completely filled in this area. On my sample nail, I didn't. I wonder if I should just fill it in.
Oh yeah, so that's why you're leaving kind of...
I'm going to fill it in.
Yeah, and then we can see the difference
Yeah.
between the two.
Just using product that's on the nail already because there's some on there, so just pulling that around. Oh, Stephanie, I'm sorry, I just saw your comment, but I'll show you the empty one and then I'll show you this one so you guys can see a difference between the two. Okay, so we've got the middles done. Now let's go around the perimeter. Still trying to mimic the shape that we created of the letters. So you can see I've kind of gone up here because it kind of peaks up here a little bit. There's a peak over here. We don't want it totally, completely smooth. Alrighty.
I like it too. It being filled in.
Yeah. It really puts more focus on the lettering and stuff. Like, it's neat to have it peek through, but I find that Boo really becomes the centerpiece once everything's kind of filled in.
The nail addict says, well, my next client is walking in. I owe, it's off to work, I guess. I think that's a common feeling for most. Yeah, so the video will be saved on our Ugly Duckling feed.
Yes.
As well as YouTube and Facebook. So please feel free to watch it when you're able to.
Yeah, we'll be uploading it. And all of our other free classes that we've done this year as well are all available to watch on our YouTube channel. Okay. I know I've gone silent. I'm sorry. I'm just deep in concentration, you know? We're working our way. Again, you guys, salon-friendly designs, but it still takes time. So can't emphasize, make sure you book enough time for yourself so you're not feeling rushed and stressed.
And also charge for
I was just going to say that.
Sorry.
Nope. Good.
I think I'm just more on the defense.
Make sure you're charging for this kind of stuff, because this stuff takes your time, and it takes product, and it takes knowledge and skill. So you're worth it.
You are worth it.
Alrighty, Rue. We're almost there, you guys. Wonder if we got any snoozers. Anybody snoozing? I'm just gonna fill this whole side in. Why not?
Yeah, it could be anywhere from 10 minutes per nail, depending on what design you do, up to like 20 minutes, I think. Just depending on what you're creating. But of course, like, Natasha's doing this, and she's taking her time with doing the demo so that you guys can follow along.
Yeah.
And she can be precise with her explanation and all of that. But, you know, a lot of these too could be just like feature nails that you can do.
Totally.
So if you're like doing a full set and just want to have Boo on the 4th fingers or whatnot. So you can also do that.
It always takes longer when you are in an art class because, like Christical said, we're trying to explain how to do things. We're trying to take our time and not rush through it so you can see the process. But when you're actually working in a salon environment, you're going to be much quicker, or not, and that's okay too. Some things take time.
Absolutely. Not snoozing, but my tummy's growling.
Oh, go get a snack.
I know.
Oh,
it's lunchtime for us. Snacks are always good. Do you prefer practicing on nails like this or on yourself? Best advice for a beginner who isn't licensed and just does their own nails for fun.
So, the biggest thing that Christical Kronk taught me when she taught me how to do nails many moons ago is working on yourself is a really great way to learn, especially when it comes to like filing and shaping, because you can really get a feel for obviously how it feels, but also if you can do your nails, then you're set. But doing art, I really like working on tips, A, because you can move them anywhere, and B, because then I have them for after, and I really like to take pictures and post and make content out of it. So and it's fun to have, and it's really neat to have to be able to look back and see your skills progress too. So art, I really like working on tips, and then for practicing like technique, I like to work on myself. Okay, we've got that all outlined and all filled in with black. Let's go ahead and cure that, and then we're going to top coat with no wipe over that whole Boo section. While that's curing, I'm just going to wipe my brush. And actually, let's talk about some brush care while that's curing. So Ugly Duckling art brushes are amazing. I can't say enough great things about them. And they are delicate. So one big thing to really make sure that you remember is to take care of your brushes. And to clean them, what we suggest doing is taking some, what I'll do is I'll take some gel cleanse. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I just get so excited about this stuff. Take some gel cleanse, and then I take a lint-free wipe, and I'll just wipe off the excess, just very gently. I'm not going in and like going crazy like this, swirling my brush around. I literally just put it in the wipe, fold it over, pinch, and just lightly pull. Don't put a lot of pressure because they are delicate. And then what we'll do once we've got the excess pigment out is I'll come into my palette. I'll put a little bit of Tacky Top down. And what this does, by working the brushes through the uncured top coat, is it will pull any residual pigment out if you haven't got it all by cleansing with gel cleanse and a lint-free wipe. And it will also kind of hydrate your brush and keep a little bit of product in there. So this keeps the brush shape nice and crisp. And then you make sure you put your lid back on, because if you are putting gel in these brushes, there's a risk that they can cure if they're near a light source like UV or LED or your window, that kind of thing. So we have a great brush care video on our YouTube channel as well, but this is how we like to clean and take care of our art brushes. Alrighty, boo, let's go ahead and seal that with no wipe. So, surprise, surprise, we're going to reach for one of our art brushes. I think I'm going to use our painter brush because we're doing a larger area. And we're just going to put the top coat right on there over that whole area that we want to make shiny. Okay, and again, it's okay if you go a little bit over the mat. Not a big deal. Just try and minimize that if possible, because we do want some definition between the matte and the shiny.
Looks so good, Natasha.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And of course you can do it with different chrome. Like I said, you can do some sugaring if you wanted to instead of chrome. Sky's the limit.
I love the sugaring technique too.
I do too.
Just like you said, dimension, and really gives a nice feel to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a neat, I like that one a lot. Alright. So with the painter brush, I was able to move more product around a little bit more quickly, which is always nice. And I'm just rotating to make sure that we don't see any major dips or if I've missed anywhere. All right, looks good to me. Let's cure that. 60-second cure. So 3 down, 1 to go. Last but not least, we're going to create our little 3D ghosty here. I'm going to be using some of our white Velveteen Acrygel. You could use acrylic if you want. The reason why I wouldn't use 3D gel with this is just because it's at the very free edge of the nail, so we need something with a little bit more strength. So that's why I'm using one of our structure lines to create this ghost, because it's gonna be, he's at the free edge, he's gonna take a,
pardon me,
bless you, he's gonna take some wear and tear, so we need to make sure that it's a sturdy product that can hold up to it. Okay, a couple more seconds here. And there we go. There's our boo nail.
Yay.
And what you could do at this time if you wanted to, if there's any of that leftover chrome, is you could just come in with lint-free wipe and some gel cleanse and just clean up the matte area. And then the boo nail is done. Alrighty. And last but definitely not least, like I said, we're going to do our little ghost. So what I did for this one as well is I did a base of 131, which you could do if you want. If you wanted to do a color base, you could as well, absolutely. I just wanted it to kind of mimic like a French nail, a twist on French. What did you say again? French with French twist.
a twist on
Oh man. Okay. 131. We're gonna do two coats of that, and then we are going to apply again our beautiful Pixie Dust top coat. I can't get enough of this stuff.
Well, it's amazing because, like you said, it's so beautiful, but it's great because you can incorporate it with a lot of different nail art techniques.
Yes.
Like background work.
Actually.
Yeah. Let's see. Natasha, show us what you got.
So, okay. Hold on a second here.
You're about to be blown away.
Well, I don't know, but...
Have you posted this thing?
Yes. No, I hadn't posted the set, but I've posted the video.
Yeah.
So I did a 3-part tutorial on how to do these little ditties. These are inspired by Beetlejuice, of course. So we've got pixie dust incorporated here in quite a few places because it just is so magical. It's so whimsical. I just love it. So there is a 3-part tutorial on how to do this on my Instagram page and the Ugly Duckling Instagram page as well if you want to take a look. It is about 7 or 8 minutes for all 3 together, so just get cozy. It's nice to watch when you're just trying to relax. And then this area here, I actually used some thermochromic powder and I mixed it with our No Wipe Topcoat, and you'll see in 1 second here, once I warm it up, we've got our little Polaroid picture. So the ghosts appear when the nail is warm, and then it's completely black when it's cold. All right. 1 more coat of 131. And then we're going to top it with Pixie Dust. And we're going to lightly buff again because we are going to be adding more product on top. So we want the nail to not be shiny because we want to make sure that Velveteen Acrygel adheres properly to the nail. Okay, so another coat of 131. And for those of you that have never used it before, Velveteen Acrygel is our rendition of a polygel. So it's a hybrid product, mix of gel and acrylic. So it's wonderful for us acrylic girls who like to really kind of manipulate that product into place. And then for those that like the luxury of not having to rush against time, it doesn't cure until you cure it in the light like gel. So the best of both worlds coming together in one product, and it works great for a little ghosty nail too. Okay. So 2 coats of 131. I'm coming in now with Pixie Dust. This is just so pretty. I did it over, when I was practicing some nails for this class, I actually put Pixie Dust over 176, which is one of the oranges that we used for the candy corn. And it's so beautiful because it's just kind of there, but you still fully see the color underneath.
I think that's with this type of top coat, it's a surprise depending on what color you're using.
Totally.
Which is neat.
Yeah,
So
it's
many
definitely, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's a must-have for sure. Water reminder, take a sip of water.
Hydrate.
Ooh. Okie dokie, artichokes. So I'm going to have on the side here, I have a little dish with a bit of gel cleanse because we're going to be sculpting with some Acrygel. So Acrygel uses gel cleanse, and that is only to keep your brush from sticking to the product. It's not meant to be used like a traditional acrylic liquid when you're doing like a liquid and powder nails. Some people will think you need to use it like a monomer, and that's not the case. It's solely just to keep your brush from sticking to the product as you're working. So just lightly buffing that surface, because we're going to sculpt our little ghost on top here. Okay, let me just give that a wipe. Oops, sorry. Bumped the camera. Okay, now I'm going to grab where is she? My Acrygel brush or your duck paddle, whatever you would like to use. I'm going to use the spatula end of my Acrygel brush, and then I'm actually going to end up switching from my Acrygel brush to my Gel 4 brush because I need something a little bit smaller with a little bit more control to create kind of like the pleats and the folds in our ghost. So first things first, we're going to squeeze out a bit of that Velveteen Acrygel. I'm going to slice it off with our spatula. And then we are going to lay this down. This is going to be the head of our ghost. So let's pop it somewhat in the middle. And then I'm just slightly dampening my brush to make sure it doesn't stick to the product. And we're using a patting motion to pat it in place. We're going to create somewhat of a circle just to get the shape of the head. And then I'll flip just to make sure we're somewhat in the middle and we're kind of off center a little bit. So let's manipulate that product around. I'm using the belly of the brush to kind of push that product around, get it in place. And because this is a hybrid product, it does contain gel, so it will start to slowly self-level, but it's not going to be running everywhere. But the self-leveling properties in this actually work to our advantage because it will help smooth any brush strokes or anything like that that we've kind of made in the product as we're working with it. So it kind of helps smooth the product. And as you can see, I'm working down here. I'm just feathering that out a bit so we don't have any harsh lines. So essentially what we're doing is we're putting down his little head first, or her little head first. And then I'm going to flash cure this to hold it in place. And then we're going to go in and we're going to start creating the pleats and folds of the ghost. And this is because if I get too much product on here all at once, everything's just kind of start melting in together. And I still want to have some definition where those folds and pleats are in the ghost body. So let's go ahead. Yep, I'm using a little bit of gel cleanser, Natasha, just to moisten my brush. That's it, just to keep it from sticking. I'll dip it in a little bit of the gel cleanse, and then I actually wipe off the excess on a lint-free wipe, and then I come back in and just gently blend. Okay, oh, I've got a little speck of something there. Darn it. Let's see if I can smush that into his noggin. Alrighty. And you'll know when you need to add a little bit more gel cleanse to your brush because you can feel it kind of start to grab onto the bristles, and that's when you know you just need to lightly moisten it again and then go back to the nail. Okay, let's pop that in the lamp. We're going to flash cure this in place. And I'm not working overly thick either because we don't want a ton of bulk on the nail. We just want a little bit of dimension. So you can see from the side, you can see that the little head and everything is raised higher than the nail plate. Oops, there we go. So not a ton of bulk. It probably looks a little bit bulky on camera just because we're working so close up, but if you see it in person, it's not that heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You started with the most gnarly tip, like the most creepy. And now you're finishing with the cute.
Ah, the little cutins. And when she said gnarly, she made little claws and put them up by her face. Okay, so we've got that cured in place. Now I'm going to grab a little bit more Velveteen, and when I did this nail, I kind of worked on the outside first, then on the outside here, and then I went in the middle, and that way it kind of pulls the dimension upward in the center without adding too much bulk on the sides also. So let's slice off a little bit more of Acrygel, and let's come over here. And when I'm putting it on, and this time I'm not really focusing on making it a ball. I put it on and kind of pulled and dragged. Moistening my brush again. I'm going to switch over to my Gel 4 brush just momentarily, but I want to just blend this with the head of the ghost so that there's no harsh lines. Of course, we want it to look like it's all cohesive, all just one little ghost. No joints, no... We don't want to see where we've added product and we don't want any harsh lines. So I'm going to just try and follow the shape of the nail. Got a little bit of fluff there. There we go. Okay. The fluff is coming from nowhere. Of course, because it's white. There we go. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'm just going to smooth this out a little bit more because I've tried to get that little fluffy out of there. Now there's a hot pink glitter. Where is this coming from?
I don't know, hey. But it's good news because I can't see it. Oh, I can't really see it. Maybe a little speckage.
Okay. Speckles.
Yeah, but that's the question, hey. Is like,
where
do things sneak in?
You know what? I just thought of this. Glitter and dust are like the fruit flies of the nail world. You don't know where they come from.
That's smart.
They just appear and they make your life miserable.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've applied my white Acrygel on this side. I'm just grabbed my Gel 4 brush. This is our teeny tiny little gel brush. And I'm going to start creating the pleat lines. So I'm going to work from the outer edge of the nail, and I'm using the very tip of the brush, and I'm basically just dragging that through to create a line, and then blending it up top there. And then you can create another one here. Just drag on through. Okay. And as you can see, as I'm making these pleat lines, the product is kind of self-leveling and smoothing out, which is good. But you also need to move a little bit swiftly if you want to make sure that the pleats that you make don't get lost or self-level too much. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in the lamp. I'm going to cure that, hold that in place. And then we're going to do the other side. So I started on the left side, we're going to do the right side, and then we're going to add something in the middle if needed, depending on how much product we have. Typically, when I did this, I did need to add just a little bit, just to fill her in a little bit more. Okay. You'll be able to see the pleats even better once it's matte. All right, so again, we're going to slice off a bit more of our product here. And then remove that bit that has that glitter in there. There we go. Okay. Let's pop this on the left side, or I mean the right side, the other left. Using the belly of my Velveteen brush. So we have two versions of our Velveteen brush. We have Velveteen and Velveteen II. Velveteen has this square brush head, and then the Velveteen II has an oval brush head. So just blending back, blending with that body. And of course, if doing this on a client, being mindful of where you're brushing. You don't want to be brushing over their skin with uncured product. We need to be mindful. Right? Right.
I love it. I love the Acrygel too.
I do too. It's
great
my
for this.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so I'm just trying to follow the shape of the nail as much as possible. Of course, I mean there's going to be little pleats that hang over. That's the whole point of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want it too bulky. You know, we still want it to be wearable and look nice, but with a little bit of dimension.
I remember one Halloween, I was a ghost for Halloween. I was going to say ghost for Christmas. And it was just a white sheet that my parents put over me, cut out the eyes, and then attached like little pigtails, like threaded with wool.
Cute.
Red bones.
Aww.
Anyways, so that's what I was for one Halloween.
I'd like to do that.
It kind of just brought back a memory. That would be an easy costume.
100%, and so comfortable.
Yeah, honestly. Could you imagine sitting in the showroom?
I'm going to.
You should.
I'm going to. That's awesome.
It's like, oh, so what did you accomplish in work today? Not a whole lot.
Not honestly. It was
Couldn't quite see.
it was not a productive day. Natasha says mine looks like a tooth. Mine looks like a tooth too. Don't worry about it. We're getting there. It's a process. It's a process.
It would be so cool if we could share photos and lives. You know, like
I wish.
Like if people could like just send their
Totally.
photo
As a comment.
Yeah, so we could see what they're doing.
Instagram, are you listening?
Yeah.
You're listening to everything else.
And that was my idea.
That was Christical Cronk's idea.
I'd like
she
to get credit
she needs
for it.
royalties, please.
Yes, I do. Of course.
Okay, so see, Natasha, mine looks like a tooth too. It's totally fine. Don't even worry about it. Okay, then we're gonna do the center because it definitely looks like a wisdom tooth. It's all good. You know what? If you got a wisdom tooth, you're on the right path.
That's right. I only have one, and it's up in my gum. It won't come down. So I'm good.
You're lucky.
That's what the dentist said, I'm sure.
No, aren't you the chosen one?
I'll take what I can get when I can get it.
I just had one of my wisdom teeth. I bet I only have them on the top. I only have them on the top, and I just had one pulled because it managed to break through. And you know what, you guys? I have to say, I don't have children, so yet, hopefully, but I just thought the whole time as this wisdom tooth was just wreaking havoc on my mouth, how those poor little babies must feel when they're teething.
Of course.
Little babes.
You have to have patience with them.
Okay. So we've built up that center. Again, she's looking a little beefy, but guess what?
That's the word of the day.
That is the word of the day.
If you guys want a beefy discount.
Honestly, that was a great segue.
Was that a good one?
You did good on that
Use
one.
Tasha15 at uglyducklingnails.com till Saturday, 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to get 15% off of your Ugly Duckling products.
That's it.
How was that?
That was perfection. Absolute perfection.
Thinking about going into TV marketing.
Well, honestly,
Advertisements.
I think you missed your calling.
Shoot.
All right. Let's pop that in the lamp for a cure. Let me see. My 2-year-old is just his too. Aww. Not fun for either of us, I bet.
Yeah.
Aww, poor little guy. But I have to say, our dentist, Crystal and I go to the same dentist.
Because of you.
He's wonderful. He's so great, and they just make you feel so comfortable. And that's a big thing, because I know...
no judgment.
Not at all. Not at all. Like, this is a safe place, like I told you at the beginning. I very rarely floss, and it's bad. And my husband gets after me about that, because he does it every night before bed.
Oh, well, isn't he just perfect?
Well, aren't you the chosen one? and so I hate it. And there was no judgment there. There was none.
And that's okay, because for me, it was 14 years since I've been to the dentist. And it just, whatever, it is what it was. And they didn't make me feel like, oh, you should have come or whatever.
Totally.
So
they're good. They're a good bunch.
yeah.
All right. So we've got our little ghosty body ready, set, ready to go. You can see the dimension there.
Love it.
Little cutie patootie. And it's going to be matte. But we also need some little eyeballs. So we're going to use our Omni tool, either the Omni tool 2 or 1. I said the 2 in the description, and I apologize. So I'm going to switch to the 2. So the 2, I'm going to use the smaller end of the 2, though. Because it's a little space. So we're going to use the dotting tool. We're going to put on a dot here, and I'm going to drag it down so it's not a total square, but kind of like a soft rectangle, a rounded rectangle. Almost like a bean shape. 2 little eyeballs. If you wanted to get really fancy, you could put this cute, tiny little smile, but I like it just with the eyes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to pop that in the lamp. We're going to cure the eyes, and then we're going to finish this off with some more crystal and caviar around the perimeter there, just to outline it, just to give a little pizzazz. You could leave it as is, but I just felt like it looked unfinished to me.
And I think that was smart.
Thank you very much.
It does really highlight.
Thank you. Honestly, get yourself a hype woman like Christical. She just made me feel so good today.
Oh, good.
I
haven't even tried.
Just walking on sunshine.
I love it.
Honestly, at least we're having fun.
Honestly, I love how Natasha said earlier, like, at least we can make people laugh. I'm like, I'm not sure if we do. We make ourselves laugh.
That's
okay.
what's important. So I've scooted back some more of our jet crystals, and I'm going to get my Schtik It and my Blinger. And we're going to go in and we're going to just outline our little ghosty ghost.
He's so cute, Natasha. The little one at the front, it does look like a... It's like what a sheep look like.
Yeah.
You.
It's Christical in her costume.
I
just need to do little pigtails. What somebody said there's like a... Can you scroll back? Somebody said there's looks like a squid, I think.
Oh, can I be honest? It's funny you say that because when I was looking at Natasha, I was going to say like a jellyfish or something like that.
She was worried.
No, it's great.
It looks like calamari.
Oh, you know that? Yeah, what's that one? Like a big squid face, but it's off of a movie.
Like a kraken?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think that's a kraken. The guy with the... Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The scary guy.
And I think he says, it's a trap. Or something like that, I think. I don't know. Maybe I've got the wrong movie.
Yeah,
He's scary. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just work here, okay?
It's a trap.
Honestly. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm applying some Schtik It here. I've applied some Schtik It. Now I'm applying some crystals. We're going to do a little grouping like we did on our candy corn. And then just fill in with some Caviar and some more bling. I just like the way this looks, you know? It just finishes it off. Okay. And again, I pick up quite a few at one time just to save me from having to go back and forth, because there was a time back in the day where I would pick up bead by bead by bead. Nobody's got time for that.
So you've learned to work smarter.
Yes.
Not harder. Yeah.
Let's do ourselves a favor. Alrighty. And we're gonna flip a Rooney. And we are in the home stretch, you guys. I really appreciate you hanging out today. And I hope you guys enjoyed this class so far. We're not done yet, but we're near the home stretches.
Which is kind of sad.
It is sad. It's always so fun coming on. You know, full disclosure, I always get nervous before doing these things, and I think it's because I know myself, and I know that I'm gonna make a hiccup here and there, but that's okay.
It doesn't matter.
We have fun. I always have fun. Always. It's always a good time, at least for me. At least I enjoy myself. Whoops, I'm just trying to flip over my SS3 crystal.
Thank you for being specific.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. SS3, my little babies, they're so cute.
So for those who've been following from the start, at the end, what we're going to do is so you guys have to think about it. You have time to think about it. What is your favorite one? And you guys are going to let us know. But we'll ask the question at the end.
Yeah, don't answer yet.
Don't answer yet. Just have some thought. And then everyone can reveal.
We'll discuss.
Exactly.
Okay.
Have a conversation.
We'll conversate about this.
Oh, it's so sweet. And I think what makes it so sweet is my daughter would always say, like, she likes things that are cute like this because it doesn't have a nose or a mouth.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
She would be like, oh, like how did she do it? Oh. You know what I mean?
That's her. 100%.
I was trying to get it right.
Oh.
It's cute, isn't it?
There it is.
It is. It's very sweet. I love this one.
All right. There's our little ghosty. Let's pop this in that. We're going to cure our crystals in place and our Schtik It, and then we're going to top coat the whole shebang.
Makes sense.
Do we have any questions while this is curing? I know the curing is kind of like a lull in everything, so feel free. Oh, here, let's show you another. Oopsie daisy. So this is the Hey Boo that was inspired the Boo nail today. So you could do Hey Boo, and you could pair it with little ghosts. Again, the pinstripes. Chrome with the black and the matte is just super effective, and it's very, very Halloween. Then for the candy corn, what I did here was we did 2 candy corn drip feature full nails. And then I used the color, so yellow, orange, and white, and did kind of just those colors dripping over a matte black.
Looks great.
And then for the crystals and the spider webs, what you could do, see, I just did very, very faint spider webbing French over black with white art gel, and then I made a little 3D spider of the crystals and caviar. So again, this is art that a lot of people can do. Nail art just isn't hand painting crazy intricate designs. It's different things.
We've got some questions. How do you texture for the green ghost, please?
Oh, do you mean this guy? I know. I posted to him. He's one of my, I think he's Frankie Stein, and he's one of my most popular Halloween designs. And I see him created a lot, which is really awesome.
Ghost.
Oh, the green ghost. Sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you meant the ghouls. The green ghost. So this is how we did the spider. So we do the base outline of the ghost first. And then I chromed, and then I went back and I did the detailing with my art gel again. So I drew the outline of the eye, I drew the outline around the ghost, and I drew his smile, cured it, and then I chromed over that. So just like we did the spider, how we did the body first, chromed, and then went back and did the texture, and then chromed. That's that. So just in layers. All right, let's come back now. Let's seal our little ghost. So I'm going to seal how do I do that? Okay. And 1 second here. Sorry, I'm having, okay, there we go. Where I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, no wipe top coat, and again, I'm going to mimic like we're working on a client here, so I'm going to take my painter brush and our no wipe top coat. We're going to come around and we're going to butt up that no wipe top coat up to those caviar beads. You can go over the caviar beads a little bit. Come down the sidewalls, especially around the cuticle area. It's hard to kind of get in there with the brush that's in the polished bottle without going over anything else. So that's why I like to switch over to my painter brush just to get in there. All right.
Looks good, Natasha.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a little ghost.
A little ghost.
Like Ghostbusters.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters. But not for this
Not
guy.
for this one. He's so cute. You can stay.
I'll protect.
And then I'm going to seal our little ghosty with our matte. Now I'm wiping off majority of the matte from my brush because I don't want to completely fill in all this texture that we created. Of course, I want to seal it and I want to get the matte in there. So I'll kind of just wiggle my brush in there, get right in there, but I don't want to flood the area and get rid of all that texture that we've created.
Do you have to top coat it?
You know what? That's a great question. I feel like yes, only for discoloration because it is white. If you don't top coat it, it might just be more susceptible to like staining just from makeup or cooking and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So I would definitely suggest top coating.
If you don't wear makeup or you don't cook, then you're good to
You're
go.
good to go. What a life.
Totally.
Sign me up. Okay. I'm just being picky here, just trying to make sure everything's sealed, but also I just want to get any of the excess. So I've really wiped off my matte brush, and I'll come in here in those pleats and just kind of drag through to pick up any really, really excess product. Okay, now let's cure, and then the magic will come through once we wipe that little ghosty clean.
Amazing.
So we have done our little spider nail and our little melted candy corn nail and our little boo nail And you guys can see the difference between Boo that has been completely filled in with black. Hold on.
Hi, Caitlin.
Oh, hi!
Yes, of course. It's always saved, so
yes.
you can watch later.
You betcha. And last but not least, we've got our little ghosty ghost.
They're both cool, Natasha, with the Boo, but I like the filled in one.
The filled in one's cool.
That's my fave.
Okay, let's cleanse our let's cleanse our ghost. Again, gel cleanse and a lint-free wipe. And I'm just focusing on our little ghost because we use no wipe for the nail plate, or the nail bed, I should say, sorry. And just making sure we get in all those little folds to cleanse that mat. And there we go, our little ghosty. And look at the little pleats. If you wanted to get really, really into it, you could take some of our 220, which is our Jelly Gel Black, and you could take your detailer before curing, and you could just run some of that through the pleats just to give it more shadowing. But I like the look of just the little ghost it's as so is. I think it's so cute. Sweet. So that would be your little, this would definitely be a feature nail. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's it. That's all. So our 4 little tutorials are all done. I hope you guys had a really, really good time. And again, if you wanted to purchase any of the products used today, you can use my code TASHA15 on uglyducklingnails.com for a 15% discount. That is on until Saturday at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time, because that's our time zone for our website. So 11:59 Pacific Standard Time PM. Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're sorry.
No, you're good.
I didn't want Natasha to cut off.
Nope.
Because we need to decide.
That's right.
I want to know what you guys think.
That's right.
What are your favorites? If you had to choose your favorite, what would it be? Let's hear your comments. Which one would it be? I'm going to go with the ghost. I'm not going to lie. It's so sweet and cute. I like the ghost.
It's tough for me between the ghost and the candy corn. I really like the candy corn. I think it's just like unique. Priscilla likes the spiderweb.
Ooh. Tasha the Boo. Allison the ghost.
Okay, we got a good mix here. Excellent. I like it. Oh.
It's always kind of cool to see what you guys like.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Well, glow in the dark. Shoot, that's a good idea.
Honestly.
Nice. Now you're thinking. I like it.
It's good.
Good. All right. Well, I guess I'm buying some glow pigment.
I'm going to redo that.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining. We always appreciate when you take time out of your day to hang out with us. And I hope you learned something today. Or at least if you didn't, you had a great time, because I know we did. So thank you so much. And I guess...
Yeah, just use that discount code.
You betcha.
Hook up on the deals.
TASHA15, uglyducklingnails.com. And if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're always happy to help whenever we can.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, what did you say the number 1 stuff you'll need for... what was that? What do you say is the number 1 stuff you'll need for beginner art? I think some quality brushes.
Very important.
So some of our, Detailer 2 is my go-to, like I said. Some quality brushes, and then just, I think...
Well, I think it's a little bit of everything. Like
it is.
Your art gel, your top coats for different purposes,
art gels, gel polishes, a little bit of everything. So it's kind of hard when you first start to kind of know what to choose, but maybe if you kind of pick a design that you want to do, and then you can kind of break down which products you need for that, and then start building your collection that way.
Absolutely, and also make sure to pair it with a crystal tip display, because that...
You betcha! That's the posts I was using today. These posts... and then
I'll go grab.
The only reason why I didn't use the crystal is because the camera has a hard time focusing when there's a crystal in view. Yes, Shay, this will be saved. So all of the complimentary classes that we've done this year so far, this is our 9th free class. All of them are available for rewatch on our Ugly Duckling YouTube channel. There's a playlist. I think it's called 2024 Education or something like that. They are available to watch on there.
And I'm sorry I don't have the other crystal.
So we've got our posts, like our tip display posts. 5 of those in silver, 5 of them in gold. It comes with this beautiful crystal bar, which is really great when you're doing, like I do press-ons for people sometimes, and so I can put all 5 and polish all of them all at once and work that way. Great for photo taking, and the crystal is, you can see it on our website. We have a beautiful photo of it on there. It's a crystal that holds one individual post, so you can work on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, thanks again. This was wonderful. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. We're already halfway through. Yes! And until next time, take care, and we love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye!